Hey guys, how we doing? It's November 4th, 2021. My birthday today. Yay for old people. Want to get this video done real quick, man. I got to take off here. I got to go redo my drug test. I took a hair and a urine sample, and the hair came back fine, which I don't do drugs, so it don't matter. Which I guess is more thorough. But they sent it to two different labs, and whoever had the urine messed up. I don't know what, spilled it. Who knows? So I gotta run back up and do that. So they got all the I's dotted and T's crossed because it's Thursday. Take off Sunday for orientation. I'll do another video probably tomorrow and let you know where I'm going. Because I wanted to do this video. This doesn't have anything to do with that, but let me find my notes here. You think one of these days I'll be prepared? I got notes on everything. I'm really busy right now. But what I want to do is a cost per mile. You have to know your cost per mile, or you will be out of business. You cannot haul freight for less than you make, or for less than it costs you to run. So these videos are geared towards guys just getting going. So we're going to. Oh, there's a birthday wish. Mark that as red. Okay, thank you, Kelly. Hope I don't get too many of those during this, and if I do, I hope they don't ding. Once you've been going for a while, you'll know your cost per mile, so you can fine tune it. But when you're just starting out, you just have to guesstimate. So what I did is I ran a bunch of numbers here, and I figured really high. It's always better to figure high because things happen. So let's just get going with it. All right, I'm gonna do your. What I want to do is do this here. Excuse me, I got something in my teeth. Before truck payment. So going into this lease, and I can't do them all, man, but hopefully this will cover some of the stuff you're going to have and some of your normal costs associated with being an owner operator. Of course, it's going to vary. Some might have less costs than this. Some may have a lot more, and that's before the truck payment, if there is a truck payment. Even if there isn't a truck payment, I'm going to get to that. I got to pay myself back, or you got to pay yourself back for what you've invested in this, right? Or why'd you do it? So let's just get started. I figured fuel. Now this is on an 8,000 mile month. I ran some numbers also for 10,000 mile month and 12,000 mile month. Depends on how much you're going to run. I'm not going to run that much. 8,000 probably average for me. Probably going to run less than that, to be honest with you, but a normal guy out there who's needing to make a living and stuff, he's going to run. I'd say most guys run about 10 grand a month. But I did it 8, 10, and 12. And then there's guys that'll run 12. I have a friend that runs 13, 14 every month. And of course, your costs go down the more miles you run. That's how that works. So on an 8,000 mile month, getting terrible fuel mileage with a hood truck, I figured 6 miles to the gallon at the current fuel prices, you're about $5,000 a month in fuel. Now, obviously, the fuel surcharge is going to cut that down a little bit. Hopefully, you got a good lease and you're getting fuel discounts, going to cut that down a little bit. And I'm just going to do 5,000 as a round number. If you get a better truck, of course, if you have a better aerodynamic truck, you're going to get 7, 8 miles a gallon, maybe 8.5 if you cruise around with prime or whatever, and you're really after it for fuel savings. So you can lower that number. That number varies for sure, but we're just going to use 5,000. Remember I said, I'm going to figure high. It's better to figure high than low. So I'm always doing the worst case scenario, and then hopefully it usually comes out better than that, but I want to err on the side of caution. So $5,000 a month. Your next insurance, my Bobtail Insurance, I got $300 a month here. I think it's actually going to be about $200, but worst case. So we got $300. I'm going to rent a trailer. That's $802 a month. I'm going to do a video on that. It's not as bad as it seems, guys. It's really not. Eventually, I'm going to buy a trailer, but not in this market. So if you don't have a trailer payment or your trailer payment's less, you can lower that number. But I'm going to use $802 because that's what I'm paying to rent the trailer until things change in this market and things get back to kind of normal. Tags and permits. I put that in here. I might just buy mine up front. But if you want to roll it into payments, where I'm going, and this is, pretty much standard everywhere, you're looking at $235 a month when you stretch that out over a year. So $235 a month. I talked about this in my other video. They got a $2,000 a month escrow. So if you don't have that to put up front, most companies have some sort of escrow. They want you to keep money in case you take off with their equipment or you owe them fuel or whatever. And of course, if you don't, they give it back to you. So that's $166 a month until you get to the 2,000. So once you hit that, that drops off. It'll lower your cost per mile. And then I figured $1,200 on top of all of that. This is just for a lot of miscellaneous things. You're going to be paying your own workers' comp. You might be paying for access to load boards if they don't provide that. You might be paying so much a month for your e-log. Any showers that you might have to pay out of pocket. Any parking at a truck stop you might have to pay out of pocket. If you got a layover in a hotel and you want to get a hotel. Just all kind of oil changes. And this is also maintenance, regular maintenance on your vehicle, not counting, or your truck, not counting a major breakdown. Hey, the wind's blowing here. Knock that off. Can't you see I'm trying to do a professional production? So that's your oil changes, your tires, just little things that go out, lights, this and that. $1,200 a month average. Now, if you do less than that, good job. You'll have some extra money at the end of the year. But most owner-operators running an old truck with 500,000 miles or whatever, they'll tell you they put about 10 grand into it. So I'm going to do a whole video, new truck versus used truck, and how that all breaks down, which way you come out ahead. But average Joe guy is 8 to 10,000 a year in maintenance bills and things. And then I added, so that's 1,000 a month roughly. I added a couple of hundred extra for load boards, whatever you got to do. So that grand total with all that is $7,703. At an $8,000 mile month, that gives you an operating expense cost per mile of 96 cents a mile. Now, if you go up to 10,000, you got to add more fuel. So I added it up, and then you would have $89.93 because it costs you fuel to do that other 2,000 miles, right? So then you'll even adjusting for fuel and going up to $89.53, you'll lower your operating per mile cost to 89 cents. If you go to 12,000 miles, adjusting up for fuel, which would put you at $10,203 of overhead, and that's the same 6 miles to the gallon current fuel prices, and not factoring fuel surcharge. And you should do better than that, but I remember I'm figuring high. 85 cents a mile is what it's going to cost you. So there's really no freight out there nobody runs around for $1 a mile, but you got to know that number to start with. So even if you own your own truck free and clear like I do, if I don't consider paying myself back any, 96 cents a mile, then I got to figure out the rest is mine. So I got to is it worth it for me to run for $1.20, $1.30? No way. I just sit at home. Might as well be a company driver, makes more than that. So my truck won't move until $1.70 is going to me. Not $1.70, at least 75, 80 cents a mile to my pocket. But that won't be $1.70 a mile because I'm paying myself back. So we're going to flip to the next page here, and let's factor in some truck payments. So what I did was a $1,000 truck payment, a $2,000 truck payment, and a $3,000 truck payment. Now, when you get up to the $3,000, that should dang well better be a brand new truck. So you could probably cut your maintenance down on that. I figured you could drop 6 cents a mile off. You could probably, out of that 1,200, you can probably drop it down to 700. You're not going to have as many breakdowns, obviously. So 6 to 8 cents you could save off of that original cost. So let's look at that. So with a truck payment of $1,000, running at 8,000 miles a month when you started at 96 cents a month, your operating costs will go up to $1.09 a mile. That's for your truck payment. So what you got there, 10, 12 cents for your truck payment at $1,000. At a 10,000 mile month, it'll go down to $1.01. And if you run 12,000 miles, and that's adjusting for fuel and everything, even with the truck payment, you'll drop down to 96 cents. Okay. At a $2,000 a month truck payment, 8,000 miles a month are going to run you $1.21. 10,000 is going to run you $1.14, and 12,000 miles are going to run you $1.10. You have a $3,000 a month truck payment, 8,000 miles a month. You're going to have $1.33 in cost before you make a penny. So you have to know these numbers, and I'll just do the rest. 10,000 is $1.27, and this is factoring in the 6 cents you can cut out of it for lower maintenance. At 10,000, you're $1.27. At 12,000, you're $1.23 a mile. Cost per mile to operate your truck. That's before you pay yourself anything. So freight's real good right now. So hey, man, everybody's making money. It should be even at that high one, $1.33. Everybody's running for $2.50 to $3 a mile. You're making good money. But when a crash comes along or the rates drop in the bucket, I mean, I remember not too long ago seeing dry van freight. I don't run that, and that's one of the reasons I don't run it. Flatbed pays a lot more, but I remember them dry van guys running around. I seen $1.40 a mile freight. That's before your carrier takes their 25 or 30% or whatever they take in. So if you got an overhead of $1.33, you're out of business. You're paying to haul freight. You can't do it, and you can't just run around. You're making $1.33 to you after all your expenses. You're running around for nothing. That's just silly. So a lot of guys go out of business because they don't factor this stuff in. So you got to know your cost per mile. Like I said, this is an estimate. It's just me sitting here running numbers. What if? What if? Now you get out there 2, 3, 4 months. You don't want to run these numbers all the time. See where you can save money. But your cost per mile, where I got like 96 cents, it might only be 90 cents. And that adds up. Or it might be 88 cents if you're getting better fuel mileage and your truck's not breaking down. So it's always adjusting. But just for this video, I figured real high. It's better to figure high than low, right? Me personally, I'll do what it cost me to start this venture up. But with the truck and everything, I haven't totaled it up, but I'm pushing $61,000. Well, I want that money back, or a good chunk of it, and I want it over a 2 to 3 year period. So I'm going to be paying myself back and not counting it as money to my family or money to my bank account at probably the $2,000 a month mark payment. Probably have $1,700. I got to run some numbers. So at my 8,000 miles a month, my operating cost paying myself back for my investment is $1.21 a mile. Anything over $1.21 a mile is mine, and the government's. So whatever I gross, if I run around it, just for easy math, $2.21 all the time. After where I'm going takes their cut. If I get $1 a mile, and you run, that's 8,000 miles a month, you're making $8,000 a month. After all your expenses, providing you don't have an engine blow up or something like that. So, and then, you got to set aside 30% or so for taxes because Uncle Sam's going to want his. He ain't going to get any out of me this year. I got too much in write-offs. But, on a normal year, even after your write-offs and everything, you might be able to squeeze depending on how much you lie, steal, cheat, and whatever. That's up to you guys. But a good round number is 30%. Set 30% away for the government because they're going to want it. And if you don't pay it, you're going to be out of business. So maybe you'll only pay 20% or 25 or 18. It depends on how good you are with write-offs and how good your CPA is and how much you're willing to risk of it looking kind of funky for them to say, hey, we need to do an audit. Me, I'd rather give them their money and keep them out of my house. Roger? So make sure you set your tax money aside. A lot of guys don't. I know a lot of guys that owe the government big because they got that owner operator money, $8,000 a month or 10,000 a month, and they're living large. Freight's good. It ain't nothing. I mean, if I want to get out there and run right now the way freights are, I could bring in 30 grand a month, no problem. I'm not gonna run that hard, but you could do it right now on flatbed. It's paying good, man. You're 350 a mile. Some freight, what's actually averaging 380. Some guys are getting five. I mean, there's big money freight out there in this crazy world we live in right now. So you bring 30 grand home a month and spend 29 of it when you get to the end of the year. They're coming to get it. So don't get yourself in that spot, fellas. All right, well, I hope this video helped a little bit. I got to get rolling. Got to go pee in a bottle again. Hopefully the lab don't spill it this time or whatever. And I don't mind doing drug tests, but I got better things to do on my birthday. Come in. But it is what it is. All right, man. Hope this helped somebody. Made sense to somebody. All right, you guys take care. God bless you. Bye now.